Getting myself like centered and comfortable in the frame always takes a little bit of like wiggling, but I think we got it. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing part 5 of funny secrets behind my cosplay photos. This is a series where I do exactly what it sounds like. I share funny secrets from behind my cosplay photos because cosplay photos always look really nice and presentable, but you never really know the funny things that go on behind the scenes. So that's what this series is meant to share with you, is all of the funny, weird, ridiculous things that happen behind my cosplay photos. So that's what we're doing today. But before we get into it, today's video is kindly sponsored by Boxu, which is very exciting because I absolutely love Boxu. Boxu, if you don't know, is a premium Japanese snack box subscription service that delivers original assortments of Japanese snacks and tea pairings. Every month you'll receive a box with a different theme, and this month's theme is extra special because it's finally Sakura season. If you didn't know, every year Japanese cherry blossoms bloom all across Japan and people celebrate by gathering under the trees for hanami, also known as flower viewing, and enjoying picnics together. So Boxu has put together snacks and tea pairings sourced from all over Japan that are perfect for your own Sakura celebrations. This is Boxu's most anticipated collection of the year, so you definitely don't want to miss out. As you can see, it's packed with all sorts of delicious limited edition cherry blossom themed snacks. And if you subscribe to Boxu during the month of March, you will receive their Sakura season box as your first box. Boxu is one of my favorite sponsors because it is a product that I have ordered myself. I was a customer of theirs long before they ever sponsored my channel, and I genuinely really enjoy their service because you get a really wide variety of snacks with a wide variety of tastes. So you get things that are sweet, salty, sometimes spicy, and so it's a nice kind of diverse range of snacks and flavors that you get. You don't all kind of get the same thing every month. They really do a good job of varying it. And what I really like, since I am a tea enthusiast, is the fact that you also get tea pairings that are meant to match the flavors of the products that you get in the box. So it's a really, really good crate. It really is like a snack themed journey around Japan every month. You get a little culture guide that tells you where everything is sourced, who made it, what its cultural significance within Japan is. So it's a really great in-depth service. It just has terrific value and it's a great experience getting to try the boxes every month. So I definitely recommend checking them out. You can use my code and also follow the link in my bio to get 10% off your own authentic Japanese snack experience from Boxu. You definitely don't want to miss out on this delicious snack journey through Japan. A huge thank you to Boxu for sponsoring today's video. So all of that said, let's get into today's video. This is part 5 of funny secrets behind my cosplay photos. Let's go! I have them written down because I'm really good at forgetting what stories I'm going to tell in each video. Okay, let's start with Mitsuri. Okay, so I have these photos which I'll put up on screen of my Mitsuri cosplay, which were taken by my roommate Justine. Now, here is the thing about these photos, which I think is bloody hilarious. We had to film some footage for my most recent cosplay review, which was for Cosplay C, and we also had to take some photos of the cosplay. So we did that. We got some shots, and then we also had planned to get our roommate Lucy their birthday present, which was a Build-A-Bear gift card. We had gone to Build-A-Bear the day before to get a gift card, but they were sold out of gift cards, and they said they would have some the next day. So while we're out there taking these photos, I literally was on the phone to Build-A-Bear asking them if they had any gift cards, and they said that they did. So we were like, okay, cool, we'll finish up our photos and then we'll go to Build-A-Bear. Now my roommate Justine thought that I was going to change beforehand, but me being me and loving attention cosplay, I decided to not change and to just go to the mall to get this gift card in my full Mitsuri cosplay, and that's exactly what I did. So we show up there and I'm literally walking around with my Mitsuri cosplay. I did not bring the sword. Luckily, I knew not to bring the sword because that was not going to go over well. But I literally had my full Mitsuri cosplay makeup wig and everything on while we were going to Build-A-Bear in Metro Town. While we were walking to the Build-A-Bear, there were these 2 teenage boys who walked past us and they were like looking at me like, what the heck? And then as they passed us, they were like, yo, what the F? And it was just priceless. I like to stir things up when I'm in cosplay. I like to keep people on their toes. So that was exactly the kind of reaction I had expected. We get to Build-A-Bear, we buy the gift card. The dude is totally unfazed. Like, he does not say anything to us. The guy working at Build-A-Bear, like, none of them say anything to us. They just act like it's totally normal. Somebody actually who was making a Pokemon plush saw my cosplay and was like, hey, I like your cosplay, like across the store to me, which was so funny and very sweet. So we get the gift card and then we leave the mall and I'm just in my Mitsuri cosplay. So when you see those Mitsuri photos, just know that after they were taken, I went to the mall, weirded out a whole bunch of people, acted like it was nothing, acted like it was a totally normal day, and that's the story. Next we have at Sushi. So I went to Moon and Back Gallery with my friend Bree, and we did a photo shoot as at Sushi and what's her name? Oh no, I can't remember the character's name. Oh my gosh, what is the character's name? It's a character from Genshin Impact. I can't remember the name. Like, I know the name, but I cannot remember the name. My friend Bree was cosplaying a character from Genshin Impact whose name I cannot remember. I'll put it on screen and I'll also put some photos of them. So Moon and Back Gallery, you guys probably know by now because I did a whole vlog about Moon and Back Gallery, but if you haven't seen that vlog and you don't know, Moon and Back Gallery is this basically photo shoot gallery here in Vancouver that has a whole bunch of installations where you can take photos. So we decided to take an afternoon, go and cosplay and take some cosplay photos. Here is the thing though, getting to the gallery was such an ordeal because our Uber driver dropped us off at the wrong place. He just dropped us off at the wrong place. Like, we pull up to where it says to drop us off and I don't see the gallery. Like, I had been to the gallery beforehand and this did not look like it at all. Like, there's usually a big sign outside that says Moon and Back Gallery and I couldn't see that. And so I was like, I don't see it. Like, this doesn't look like the right place. And our Uber driver was like, no, like the numbers are just on the side of the building. Now get out. But he basically kicked us out of his Uber before we could really like get our bearings and everything. Because like, I would have been happy to have paid for like an extra ride. I don't know if that's like a thing on Uber that like while you're with an Uber driver, you can like pay them to take you the rest of the way if they've dropped you at the wrong place. Like, I don't know if that's a thing that can happen, but like if it is, I would have been happy to have like paid him to take us the extra way because obviously we were in the wrong place, but he did not give us the time to like figure any of that out. He didn't give us the time to figure out where we were. He just like kicked us out of his car. And so we're in this industrial area in Richmond and it's just like totally not a good place to be dropped off. Like, it's like this middle of nowhere industrial area and we were just like, what do we do? So we ended up having to book a second ride, which was only 3 minutes. Like, the actual location that we had to be at was only like a 3-minute drive away from where we were, but that would have been like a 15-minute walk. So we decided to book another Uber ride for 3 minutes, and from an Uber driver's perspective, that's not gonna give you like a huge tip. It's not gonna pay very well, right? So I'm thinking like no Uber driver is gonna accept this ride because it's only 3 minutes. But luckily, we like right away got this driver. He shows up super quickly. He picks us up and he starts chatting with us and he's super nice and he's asking us like where we're going, why we're dressed like this. And we're like, oh, we're doing like a photo shoot at this gallery. He's like, oh, that's really cool. Are you guys like models? And we're like, oh, it's like sort of like models, but not really like models. And he's really intrigued by all of this. And so we mentioned, we're like, yeah, we got dropped off at the wrong place by our Uber driver, our last Uber driver. And he was like, what the, like, that's not supposed to happen. Like, they're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, yeah, like I don't know. He dropped us at the wrong place and he wouldn't let us kind of figure it out. He just kicked us out of his car and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure that I get you to the right place. And we were like, oh, thank you so much. Like, this guy was super sincere, probably the nicest Uber driver I've ever gotten. And so he drives us and he's like, oh, is this it? Like, this looks kind of like it's in the middle of nowhere. And I point out the sign. I'm like, yeah, no, that's the sign, right? I see the sign that says Moon and Back Gallery. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's perfect. There's the sign. We are in exactly the right place. Thank you so much. And I gave him a huge tip. Like the fee for the drive was less than $5, but I gave him a $5 tip, like regardless, because he was just so nice and helped us get where we needed to go, and like was super great about taking this 3-minute drive. Like so nice. So when you see those photos, like they all look great, but when the actual like process of getting to Moon and Back Gallery for those photos was such an ordeal, because we had been dropped off at the wrong place and had to like figure all of that out. But luckily we figured it out in the end and it was all fine. All right, next we have the Promise Neverland. So I have these photos of Emma, Ray, Norman, and Isabella from my photo shoot weekend extravaganza, which if you want to see, I have a vlog from that weekend linked up here that you can check out. It was a super fun weekend, just full of photo shoots, and I'm really grateful for the experience. It was fantastic. Here's what you don't know about these photos. So while we were taking these photos, I was trying to vlog, and my phone no longer holds a charge. So I should see if it's actually charged. Oh, it is charged right now. Okay, good. It does not hold a charge. So I had been out for like maybe an hour and a half and it was already at like 13% battery. Like it cannot hold a charge anymore. And my power bank that I used to have, turns out it is broken. I learned that the day before I did this photo shoot. So I was downtown with a phone at like, at this point, 8% battery. Had to figure all that out. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave all of you guys, leave all my friends, and I'm gonna go to London Drugs, which is like this, I don't know how you would, like it's a drugstore, but like they carry electronics and food and makeup and like a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, they're just a Canadian store. I think they're even just a BC store. Like, if you're Canadian and you're not from British Columbia, let me know if you have London Drugs. I'd love to know. But anyway, London Drugs, if you don't know, is like this huge drugstore that has like a bunch of different things, including electronics. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to London Drugs and I'm gonna get a power bank. So I'm in my full Emma cosplay, walking amongst the normies, you know, with a number on my neck and this gradient yellow and orange hair. And I'm just marching into the London Drugs. People are looking at me weird and I'm looking at the power banks. And there's this one guy who passes me and he's like, yeah, I love your hair. And I'm like, hey, thank you, right? Which was really funny. But then this lady comes and she sees that I'm obviously looking lost. And she's like, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for a power bank. I see you have these two options. They're both locked up. Which one do you think is better? And so she helps me out. And then she's like, oh, are you cosplaying? And I'm like, yeah, there's a convention happening right now. And she's like, oh, that's so cool. She then goes on to tell me that she's become super into D&D over the course of the pandemic. And she really likes Critical Role and just basically nerding out to me. Now, I'm not a Critical Role or a D&D person, but I was still like, yeah, that's cool, right? I'm trying to like follow along, and she's just like going off like about how much she loves D&D and like all this stuff, and it's really, 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 really cute. Like I am just like, even though I can't really follow what she's saying, I'm absolutely living for this conversation. So at the end, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that I'm like talking your ear off. I'm just so excited to have met a fellow nerd. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is totally fine. Like, how sweet is that? That she's like, I'm so happy to have met a fellow nerd. So she rings up my order and she's like, okay, I'm gonna give you an air high five, because there was a big plexiglass in front of us. And I'm like, yeah, air high five. And she's like, you have a great rest of your day. You enjoy your convention. I'm like, thank you so much. And then I went off. I guess it's not really a funny secret behind the cosplay photo, but it's more of like a cosplay story that isn't really long enough for me to make a dedicated cosplay story time for it. So I thought it kind of fit in here, but I just wanted to share that because it was just so sweet, her being like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry I'm talking your ear off, I'm just so excited to see a fellow nerd. Like it was the sweetest thing ever. And like, shout out to that lady. She really brightened my day and made me feel a whole lot better about being in cosplay in public. Though it doesn't really faze me that much, it was still nice to have somebody, you know, be so supportive of it. So that was really awesome. The final story has to do with not a cosplay photo, but a cosplay TikTok. So basically, I did some TikToks as Michael Afton, which like one of my new favorite cosplays because I love him, but like who doesn't? Everybody loves Michael Afton. Everybody loves Michael Afton. So this funny secret takes place before I did those TikToks. Before I did the TikToks, I was getting into my cosplay, doing my makeup and everything on Instagram Live. And while I'm on Instagram Live, we start, my audience and I start talking about ghosts and getting on the subject of ghosts. And I mention that our house, this house that I am in right now, is haunted, because it is. I start talking about the ghost and how the ghost is very chill and doesn't really bother us, just kind of, you know, does mischievous things sometimes, but doesn't really like do anything malicious. And as I'm talking about the ghost, all of the power in the house just goes out. Like, done. At this point, I'm in my full Michael cosplay. Like, I've finished my makeup, I've finished my wig and everything. Like, I'm in full Michael cosplay, and all the power just goes out. And I am just like cackling on this live stream. Just like, no way could, like, how, like, this is hilarious. And eventually the power comes back on, and I finish up my live stream, and I take my photos and I take my TikToks, but boy, was that a ride, being in this power outage that was obviously caused by the ghost, because like what other cause could that be? Like me talking about this ghost and then the ghost just decides, nah, you're gonna have no more power because you're talking about me, which is fair. I'm sorry, ghost, I'm sorry. But anyway, that was a super funny thing that happened while I was in my Michael cosplay. And one thing I want to mention is that when I was talking about the house being haunted, one of my viewers said, well, if your dad didn't keep killing children, maybe your house wouldn't be haunted, which was like so perfect. They understood the assignment completely. So perfect. I thank you to that person. That comment like made my night. It was so perfect. Anyway, those are my funny secrets behind my cosplay photos and cosplay TikToks. I hope you enjoyed. Another quick reminder, if you want to check out Boxu, you can use my code ANYA10 and also use the link in my description to get 10% off your own authentic Japanese snack crate experience from Boxu. Huge thank you to Boxu for sponsoring today's video. Really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you are new here and you'd like to see more videos like this, I put out new videos every Sunday. It would be awesome to have you here, so feel free to subscribe. All that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys all next time, but until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!